Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the meeting of the Property Subcommittee at Staffordshire County Council today, Wednesday, the 5th of June 2024. First item on the agenda is apologies. Do I have any apologies for absence?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I've received apologies from Councillor Jonathan Price. Thank you. And
Councillor Ian Parry as well, please. Minutes of the meeting held on the 1st of May 2024. Can I have it? Have your approval to sign those off as a correct record of the meeting?
I'll move that.
That is moved. Agenda item 4 is the transfer of land at St John's Primary School, Keele. Where has he gone? Councillor DeVille.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Transfer of land at St John's Primary School is a fairly straightforward transfer, Chairman, of land ownership prior to St John's transferring to an academy. Specifically, this transfers the access road, some car parking and a grass bank. Any further information you'd wish to partake in? Jason Wilkinson, please.
No, nothing further to add. It's a standard transfer that the trustees have called for.
Okay, before we go around the table, Mr Turner, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, it is just formalising the land ownership arrangements before an academy transfer. Thank you.
Thank you. Legal?
No comments. It's a standard statutory transfer.
Finance?
No further comments.
Valuation?
No comment from me, Mr Chairman. No, thank you.
Local member? Just as you're about to take a sip of your coffee. Sorry about that.
None received. Thank you, Chair.
Members of the committee, any observations? We're back with you, Mr DeVille, for the recommendations.
One recommendation, Chairman, that the transfer of the freehold interest in the property required under the School Standards and Framework Act of 1988, as amended by the Education and Inspections Act 2006. One recommendation, Chairman.
You've heard the recommendation. All those in favour?
Agreed.
That is unanimous. Agenda item 5 is academy lease approvals. Councillor DeVille, we are back with you.
Thank you, Alan. It's standard item. It's academy leases for 5 school sites, as shown in the schedule. 2 school buildings and playing fields at Millfield Primary School in Tamworth and at Chesley and Hay Primary School. 2 playing fields only at All Saints Church of England School in Ranton and St John's Church of England School in Keele, and 1 area of land used as a right-of-way at Moorgate Primary School in Tamworth. And again, I'd ask for Jason to make any further information announcements, please, Jason.
Thank you. Again, all standard lease transfers, so nothing else to add.
Legal?
No comments. It's a standard academy transfer.
Finance?
No comments. I have no further comment either, thank you.
Mr Turner, was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, nothing from me. Thank you.
So going through the list of local members for this batch of transfers, Councillor Winnington, you're with us.
Just a quick one. This was actually on the last property board for about 6 foot square on the plan. This one probably for Ian's team. Have we completely sorted out the footprint? Because I understand the school's owned by the county at the moment, or as we carry on forwards, and the playing fields by the diocese. Is that all top-ended and tails? Could I want us to come back again in a year's time?
Yeah, I did realise this after the last meeting that we brought 2 together. That's why we've just sort of sorted things out, and the one we're bringing today, we're doing it so it comes to the same committee, although they are slightly different transactions. So apologies for bringing you here again. So the last time was a transfer of the land so that the ownership was sorted, and then this is an academy lease for just the playing field. So for this type of school, the school trustees own the freehold of all of the school that is required for them, except for playing fields, and playing fields remain in the ownership of the county council. Then when a school academises, they've already got the ownership of the school buildings and car parking and access roads and that kind of thing. We then need to give them a lease for the playing fields for the continued operation of a school. Not necessarily a process designed by us, we just have to follow those rules and regulations. So yeah, apologies that we did the transfer of the land ownership separately from the decision about the leasing out of the playing fields. We've put that right now and we will do in the future.
So just to clarify, does the diocese own any of it?
Yeah, they do. They own the school buildings, and they own all of those bits that aren't playing fields. And the county council owns the playing fields and leases them to the diocese for the operation of the school.
Sorry, Chair, just one more question, really. If the village wanted to use those playing fields in the future, they presumably would have to contact the diocese or the academy. Which is which? It's all very complicated.
They have to contact the school, essentially. Even with maintained schools, operationally, we don't get involved with who else can use the school facilities when they're not being used for teaching and education provision purposes. So we don't get involved in that. We let the school decide what is best there. But certainly, once it becomes an academy, all the responsibilities in terms of who can use that land and buildings and how they are maintained goes over to the academy.
Again, I'll get asked these questions, so I might as well get them out of the way now. The school at the moment has not got the best Ofsted results. If the worst case scenario happens and the school becomes defunct, what happens to the buildings and the playing field then?
Definitely the playing fields return to us. I'm afraid I have to confess, because I've never experienced this, I don't know what happens to a voluntary aided school if the school becomes defunct.
It would be back to the school standards framework tax, I think. It's not one we've come across before, but it would still remain within the ownership of the diocese, unless directed otherwise by the Secretary of State, I believe.
Mr. Chairman, I think I can help on this from a previous job. The diocese sell the property, but must account to us for all proceeds of sale.
Councillor Winnington, there you have your answer. Anything else?
Sorry to ask the odd difficult question, as per usual.
That's why we want the local members to come in to ask those questions that perhaps haven't been addressed. So thank you very much for asking those. Anything else, Councillor Winnington, on this particular one? Right, Millfield School, Coleshill, that's me, and I have no local member observations. Land adjoining Moorgate Primary School, Tamworth, that's Councillor Pritchard. Any observations from the local member?
None received, Chair. Thank you.
Next is Cheslin Hay Primary with Councillor Williams and Councillor Perry. Any observations from them?
None received again. Thank you, Chair.
And St John's CAV Primary School, Quarrybank Road, Keele. Councillor Huckfield, any observations from him?
None received. Thank you.
Thank you. Members of the committee, you've heard the conversation that's happened to this point. Any other observations before we go back for the recommendations? Nobody's indicating. Councillor DeVille, we're back with you.
Thank you, Mr. White. So there's one very brief recommendation, colleagues, that the lease of the site set out in the schedule in the standard format be approved.
All those in favour?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Moving forward then to agenda item number 6, Corporate Asset Management Strategy. I'm sure we've seen this a few times, but Councillor DeVille, we're back with you. Thank you,
Mr. White. Yes, we've seen it a few times and discussed this. I'm really pleased to bring this to this committee this morning, Chairman. It's an excellent document. It's crystal clear, and it absolutely is a live working document. Essentially, colleagues, The strategy describes how we efficiently use and maintain our corporate properties. And for the first time, you'll see that we've presented this strategy by district. So it's interesting and it's very clear to see what properties we own in each district of Staffordshire, what maintenance we need to carry out, what projects, capital projects, we carry out in each of the districts. And it's an excellent document, and I know that a lot of work has gone into this. Can I, Chairman, bring Wendy in to add anything else that you'd wish to bring this morning, Wendy?
Thank you, Mark. The previous property strategy was subject to a number of recommendations to strengthen our approach to asset management. Working with Councillor DeVille, we pulled together a working group from colleagues from finance, audit, insight and policy, representative from the directorates, etc. The corporate asset management strategy is founded on Staffordshire County Council's strategic plan, and following information gathering, the working group reviewed and outlined considerations for the new strategy. This included new ways of working, climate change, technology, the ability of our assets to support regeneration and economic growth, opportunities for integration and partnership working, energy efficiency, cost and utilisation, compliance, and the possibility of promoting health and well-being and social value. At this stage, we shared our first draft with SIPFA and asked for examples of good practice that could be shared. The draft corporate asset management strategy was then produced, which covers links to our Staffordshire County Council's strategic priorities, driver for change, links to governance process, an overview of the types of assets and numbers, running costs, asset utilisation, and the asset process linked to operational and corporate requirements. Following feedback, a section on risk assessment was added. The district asset plans are available for each district using the same format and provide the reader with a high-level overview of what is happening locally across corporate and school programme. The district asset plans will be subject to annual review and will be disseminated to members shortly, should it be approved. The documents were also shared for comments and presented at SLT, Informal Property Subcommittee, Informal Cabinet, and presented today to the Property Subcommittee for approval.
Thank you very much indeed. A comprehensive description of the report, Mrs. Wardwood. Thank you very much indeed. We have been through this many times, it feels. I wouldn't say I could recite it, but you get the gist of how thoroughly well briefed I feel. So to the members of the committee, obviously you're presenting it, Councillor DeVille. Councillor White, do you have any observations? No. We're back with you with the recommendations, I think, Councillor DeVille.
Thank you, Mr. White. Again, just one recommendation, colleagues, to approve the corporate asset management strategy as a replacement to the existing property strategy.
All those in favour? Agreed. Oh, that's agreed. Thank you very much indeed. And it is a comprehensive document. It's really excellent. The level of detail in here is just tremendous. So thank you very much indeed for all the work on that. Now, we then move on to agenda item number 7, which is the exclusion of the public. I move that the public be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business which involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in the paragraphs of Part 1 of Schedule 12A as amended of the Local Government Act 1972 as indicated below.